Welcome to the Enterprise Thought Leadership Podcast, where we explore the latest in enterprise trends, tech, and strategy with the top leaders shaping the future.
Hi everyone, my name is Kanika and I'm the managing editor of Enterprise Talk, our enterprise technology publication, and all its sister publications which cover marketing technologies as well. We are engaging conversations with global thought leaders and industry experts, which reach over 1.3 million business leaders worldwide. Events have always been a critical part of outreach activities for all business leaders across sectors. Capacity Europe enables these conversations for over 2 decades now. Now, in its 24th year, it has evolved from a telecoms conference into a premier platform for digital infrastructure deal making, thought leadership, and innovation. Today, we speak to Liss Boot-Hanford, the product director at Capacity Media, to understand the trends that the events business is taking, given the emerging technologies and business scenarios globally. A little bit about Liss before we start. As product director for Capacity Media, Liss leads the content strategy and project teams, creating marketing leading events for the global digital infrastructure community. She works closely with senior leaders to research and create content across data centers, cloud, fiber networks, hyperscale, edge, enterprise, satellite, finance, AI, and more. Welcome to the podcast, Liss. Great to have you here with us.
Thank you so much. I'm delighted to be here.
It's a pleasure to have you. One of the key themes for this year's event is innovation and new technologies that we'd like to discuss with you. What new things are you seeing there, and how do you see them trending out in the next few years? So my first question is, one of the key trends for events is innovation and new technologies. What new technologies are you most excited to learn about and put to use in the upcoming event at Capacity?
This year, we're seeing a wave of technologies redefining the future of connectivity and infrastructure. So we're particularly excited about breakthroughs in AI-enabled automation, next generation optical networks, and sustainable power systems. Beyond that, we'll be exploring at the event the role of quantum technologies, edge computing, digital twins, all of which are shaping how infrastructure is designed, managed, scaled for the future. Our audience are focused on future-proofing, which firstly means that they're ensuring that the infrastructure is built today to support whatever comes tomorrow, because the rate of change is so fast at the moment. So they're basically focused on what can be adaptable, resilient, and scalable to meet the expectations that we don't even know about yet. Every year at Capacity Europe, and as you mentioned kindly, we've been running for 24 years. We've seen new topics floating to the top of people's minds. And in preparation for this conversation, I actually went back and looked at what we were talking about in 2020. Not that long ago, feels a long time ago. Everything was on the program was about IoT, it was about network automation. We didn't talk about AI. Like that was not a sort of top of mind conversation for our audience and for the execs that come. So across sort of our global portfolio, we're really seeing a huge amount of new technologies coming up from the research team internally here. We're kind of really trying to get on top of absolutely everything, and it's like, one thing's coming up in the US, another thing's coming up in China, and you've got different global dynamics at play. So what we try and do, and what we're doing for Capacity Europe is delivering a program that really kind of touches upon all of the major things that are coming up to in boardrooms, essentially across digital infrastructure. So there's loads happening, and it's hard to pick one. It's very easy to say a sort of blanket what's happening with AI, but I really think the implications of what the new technologies mean for our industry, for our clients, for the customers that are working to build the future of the infrastructure is really exciting.
So speaking of sci-fi, I think AI tops the boot right now. It is dominating the conversations in all digital infrastructures across the world, across domains, across sectors, for all kinds of activity. Everybody seems to be talking about AI. I'm not even sure if it's going to be delivering as much as it's hyped, but we're getting there, I guess. So how is this year's Capacity event going to highlight the impact of the demands of AI on enterprise? What is required? What needs to be delivered? How is it being done? And all of that.
I think that's a really interesting point of view that, we have all these expectations for what AI is going to do. But at the base level, the way that any of it's going to be achieved is going to come down to the infrastructure that supports it. So the landscape in the infrastructure side is transforming faster than it ever has, essentially. And AI is the driving force behind that. That's reflected in what we're talking about Capacity Europe. So we're dedicating a significant amount of time to talk about how the ecosystem's adapting. That's from data centers through to subsea and cloud and edge, through the keynote sessions, panel discussions. I'm finding that most panel discussions, even if it's nothing to do with AI, will come back to AI, because that is really kind of the key driving force behind everything at the moment. In one of the questions sort of the industry is asking at the moment is how we're framing sort of the new telco mindset in relation to that rapid change. And the industry is experiencing those significant changes with new architecture and models, particularly through sort of next generation infrastructure. We talk about the sort of techco business model quite a lot these days, and how telcos are providing the infrastructure enhanced by value added services through partnerships. Whereas other people have gone for a sort of pure infrastructure play, doubling down on unique routes and high quality bandwidth. Both of the approaches are driven by enterprises wanting to consume network services from a platform with an on-demand sort of flexible experience as they provide to their own users what they're demanding of them. So we are talking a lot about how AI is driving that distinction between physical infrastructure and sort of end-to-end service provision as well. As for what the next few months hold, let alone the next few years, we're experiencing it alongside everyone else. Really, like there's a lot of incredibly smart minds out there that are figuring out how it will improve user experiences for everyone in the world, how it can speed up your business. All of these different ways people are looking at it. So we'll be watching very closely.
And how do you think evolving customer expectations, especially around AI and hybrid connectivity, how will these influence partnerships at Capacity Europe? At the end of the day, the game is all about how many people get, how much of outreach, how many partnerships are struck, how many deals are closed. That's basically the name of the game. So how do you think AI and hybrid connectivity are going to fare in that?
It's all about connections. All about connections. So I think evolving customer expectations are creating the new dynamics across the ecosystem. So organizations can no longer look for standalone solutions. You're not sort of working in silos anymore. They want integrated, intelligent connectivity that supports hybrid and AI-driven environments. So Capacity Europe's always been a hub for partnership building. This year we expect to see even deeper connections across carriers, cloud providers, data centers, and innovators as well. The emphasis is really shifting towards sort of co-creation and shared value. We're seeing it across everything that we're doing. The partnerships that are being formed, like both at our events and in the industry more generally, are really, you wouldn't have seen them a few years ago, like the people that are working together now. So from a Capacity Europe perspective, we're delighted to offer that platform for people, and I think it's incredibly important. As we've talked about how rapidly the world's changing. Like we can't be working individually anymore.
So sustainability is a major theme in conversations about data centers and the industry today. What conversations should we keep an eye out for at Capacity Europe as far as sustainability is concerned?
Sustainability is no longer a side conversation. Central to every decision that the industry is making. And at this year's event, we're hearing from leaders driving real progress across renewable integration, efficiency technologies, and circular design. So we'll see more emphasis on transparent sustainability reporting as well, and cross-sector collaboration to reach net zero goals. For us, it's about turning ambition into measurable action. Seeing the exponential growth of sort of power consumption across digital infrastructure globally. And it's a conversation that we can't have without talking about sustainability as well. So there's going to be a lot of a sort of undertone of that conversation across several of our panel discussions.
That's interesting. So my last question to you is, Liss, there's a widening talent gap across digital infrastructure, and it's something that often comes at industry events as a growing cause for concern. How are you supporting the industry with this particular issue at Capacity Europe? And when we talk about a skills gap, talent gap, we're talking both about technology as well as event management skills here, because clearly that's a domain you're in. So
absolutely. I mean, we take our talent and digital infrastructure programs really seriously across Tokorico. we have several touch points at all of our events, so capacity being one of them, but also at the data cloud events and ITW. They're basically designed to give students a chance to learn about our industry and find out more about what careers that they can pursue. So we provide platforms for sixth form students, college, university students, as well as young professionals in a number of different ways. So firstly, we offer free of charge tickets to anyone who fits in that group, essentially, no matter what. So there is an interest in our industry, then we're there to support it. And secondly, we run sort of tailored sessions on site at our events, and they range from introductory sessions with senior execs, so giving insight into different parts of the industry that might be subsea or telco or data center and so on. We also run meet and greets, mentoring sessions. So we give special programs to the young talents that join us, where they can meet with and ask questions to some people that generally are quite unreachable, incredibly busy, but really exciting people that you would want to meet in this space. And then aside that, we tell them which conference sessions they should be going to learn more, and giving them tours of the exhibition and giving them their own sort of networking events as well. So at Capacity Europe this year, we've got over 70 students joining us from a range of different backgrounds, so including some London schools and universities. We've got University College London coming down as well. We're really, really keen to invite anybody who is interested in the industry to come down, because we talked a lot about how technology is rapidly changing. There is going to be a huge demand for jobs in this space in the next few years, and I think as people are starting to think about what their career looks like, it's an incredibly exciting space to get into, but there's also going to be a lot of opportunity as well. So it's something that we play our small part in supporting that, and work very closely with our clients and our partners to ensure that they also get the opportunity to meet potential future hires and to inspire the next generation.
So thank you so much for your time. Really enjoyed speaking to you, and you will have to pardon me for that break, but it was lovely talking to you. Thank you.
And you, I really appreciate it. Thank you.
Pleasure.
Thank you for joining us for the Enterprise Thought Leadership Podcast. Please do follow us on social media and subscribe for more ideas and insights. Until next time.